Well, I said that we were going to do this, I said there was going to be a Jim Benning press conference, and man, there was. We have ourselves a whole bunch of updates as to what the plan is for the Vancouver Canucks. And you can kind of feel it, Am I feeling condescending in this one? I'm not sure. Obviously, I'm not an NHL GM, which means that I don't have the right to go out there and try to say that Jim Benning should be doing this, that, or the other thing. But as a guy who cheers for this team, who has his own emotional stakes within the team, I feel that I have the right to criticize what it is or what it is not the GM has decided to do. We'll be talking about what exactly Jim Benning said in the press conference in this video. We'll be reading a whole bunch of tweets, so sit down, relax, and pull out the popcorn because here we go. So, before everything even began, I already said yesterday that I believe that Travis Green would get an extension. Yes, he did. He got it. And that's good for him. Travis Green has been here for a while. So much to the point that he is actually like the 5th winningest coach of all time. Something crazy like that. And when I saw that stat pop up on my timeline, I was like, wait, are you serious? It's been that long already? He's already in that status? Wow, I didn't realize Travis Green was that good, eh? But then I took a look back and I was like, oh, he's actually been here for a really long time. And it's kind of gone under the radar how long Travis Green has been affiliated with the Canucks NHL organization and their AHL affiliate too. But he will be coming back. It's a multi-year deal here. He's got 2 years left. Jim Benning also has 2 years left on his current contract as well. So Benning and Green, this tandem will be forever tied together because they now will expire at the same time. Depending on what happens then, whether or not they decide to bring Travis Green back then and Jim Benning back at the same time, hey, who really knows what's going to happen there? Not really too sure how we're going to go about things, but we'll get there when we get there. Before we had the actual press conference go down, though, I want to read you a tweet from Rick Dhaliwal talking about what he feels needs to happen in order for this press conference to actually be considered a success. Before we get that underway, though, actually, huge shout out to Dhaliwal for actually going back on the Sportsnet 650. Kinda rings me a bell of a former time. But Rick Dhaliwal said, I need Jim to come out today and articulate a plan confidently. If he does that, it will be a win for Benning. And that has always been the case. We want a plan. We want to know as fans, as media, as people who observe this team, what's the direction? Where are they going? How are they going to accomplish what it is they want to do? Well, let's get into the quotes. When it comes to the Vancouver Canucks and how exactly things are going to go up front, Benning said this when it comes to free agency. I think we need more speed up front. Some veteran leadership, speed and depth up front. We want to be a 3-line scoring team. And one of the first replies says, oh, someone like Tyler Toffoli perhaps, and the caveat to that is that Toffoli isn't really the fastest guy in the world, but regardless, Jim Benning is saying that they need more veteran leadership. And, Farhan Lalji, you're not wrong. Might be alarming to some Canucks fans. We all know how much Jim Benning loves to go out there and give money to veterans who can provide leadership because intangibles are worth $4 million. Right? Next up, though, Benning said this about the overall offseason. We will be aggressive this summer. We want to get back into the playoffs. Okay, what? Buyouts will be a part of our strategy. We want to add speed and depth to the forward group. Okay, My first instinct after reading this one was, what happened to the 2-year plan? I thought you said that you want to be competitive in 2 years. What's this coming about, saying that you want to make the playoffs now? Is it 2 years? Or is it 1 year? I'm not really too sure. Because last time you said it was that, they did say they live day by day as well, so maybe that's why today's comment is saying that they want to get back into the playoffs now. I would assume now because of the way it's phrased over here, but they want to be aggressive this summer. They want to get leadership. They want to add speed. Okay, where exactly are they going to go ahead and do that? Well, Benning said, we're going to look at everything. Whatever we can do to make our group more competitive. It might not be high-end free agents. Okay, bless. But guys who we think are going to be a good fit to our group that can help us fit a role and can score. Okay. Oh boy. So they really want to go out there and get the leadership guys that might not be high-end guys that can come over here and be fast and score goals. You know what? That does sound good on paper. It really does. It's just when it comes to the trust that a fan can put into Jim Benning, and taking a look at his recent track record, I mean, who amongst the recent Vancouver Canucks free agent signings has actually turned out well? Holtby looked good for 3 weeks out of the season. You have a whole bunch of other free agent signings like the Russells and the Beagles and the Ericssons, of course, that really haven't worked out. And I mean, when it comes to Jim Benning and their overall evaluations of speed and talent, they put so much value on the intangibles that it ends up costing them so much extra money that now when Jim Benning comes out and says this, I personally don't know how confident I am that they're going to go out there and actually make acquisitions that make sense and that convert. You know, things could have been so easy if they just went out there and signed Toffoli and had him 25 goals with the Canucks. Things would have been a lot better if that were the case. In fact, speaking on Tyler Toffoli, this is what Benning said. It wasn't an issue of running out of time, but more a case of the financial landscape shifting after the flat cap was implemented. It is what it is now, he says. Okay, so that means he just straight up lied about what he said last time. Last time, they keyed him out. They asked him, okay, Toffoli, what's going on? He's lighting you up. And he's like, oh, we ran out of time to sign him. And now, a few months later, oh, no, it's not that we ran out of time. We just couldn't do it because of the financial landscape. After that flat cap was implemented, hey, the money was this, the money was that. We weren't able to sign him. And then it's like, okay, at the very least, he is taking accountability. It is what it is now, Benning says. And you know, step one of really going out there and redeeming yourself in whatever situation it may be is actually acknowledging what it is that you've done wrong. Because the entire time we've had this Benning-Aquilini saga, anytime there's a mistake that's made, it's always, oh, there's an excuse, oh, it's the pandemic, oh, it's the bubble, oh, it's the schedule, it's this, it's that, oh, it's we ran out of time, oh, it's because of the financial landscape. At the very least, just admit you screwed up. And to be fair, Benning did that here, so good on him. He also says that the Canucks are going to try to bring back Travis Hamonic, which isn't a bad thing. I mean, he was pretty okay here in Vancouver. They say that he wants to return as well, which, I mean, yeah, it's not surprising. All the stuff we heard about Hamonic on the broadcasts, whenever they would play games and all that. We had so many people on the Sportsnet broadcasts, and I think elsewhere in hockey media, talking about how Hamonic just liked being in Vancouver because, you know, West Canadian city and all that. So if you bring him back at a cheap deal, all right, what's the worst that can happen, especially if it's short term? Just don't go out there and shell, you know, Antoine Roussel money right there. Hopefully I didn't jinx it, but yeah, you know. He also says that they want to bring Ian Clark back. He plans to talk to Clark in the afternoon. This one could be complicated as Ian Clark had his own deadline, which the Vancouver Canucks have long since missed. Would he still be open to a discussion is the question that Thomas Drance asks. And for Ian Clark, the guy who literally made the Columbus Blue Jackets goaltending tandem so good before coming over to Vancouver and helping out with Jacob Markstrom, helping out with, obviously, Thatcher Demko, and being in a spot now where, as a pending free agent coach, there will probably be a whole bunch of other teams out there vying for this guy's services and being willing to shell out big bucks. You saw what Thatcher Demko said about Ian Clark, how he desperately wants Clark to come back. I mean, if Thatcher Demko is going out there and talking about how much he needs this guy to function, I think it'd probably be in your best interest to go out there and listen. So we'll see how exactly those negotiations go down. It's just unfortunate that he did have his own deadline before, and that's the reason he left Columbus back then, because, I mean, he's in Vancouver now. It was in Columbus before. They had a similar thing going on there where he had his own deadline for a re-signing, and they didn't meet it. So who knows if the pandemic could ultimately be the escape route this time. Oh, hey, we probably would have tried to give you a contract earlier before your deadline, but because of the pandemic, because of the financial insecurity, we weren't able to do that. Who knows if that's the case, but regardless, wrapping up the press conference, this is a tweet from Taj. I wanted to read it here. The Canucks still have no long-term plan. That was established when Jim Benning said that their plan is to make the playoffs this upcoming year. They're going to be aggressive, they're going to go out there, try to improve the team, and they want to make the playoffs now. Okay. It's clear that Benning needs to make the playoffs to keep his job. The Canucks will be aggressively trying to make the playoffs, and Benning is open to trading draft picks. Yeah. Okay. Okay, we'll see how exactly things are going to go down because I can't wait to see the overall results here. Talking about the Vancouver Canucks and giving Jim Benning another year. Being like, okay, you got to make the playoffs, man. What's going to happen now? What's going to happen? One more year to make the playoffs. I can't wait to see what happens, dude. Honestly, I'm not even feeling like excited. I'm just feeling kind of anxious, man. Thank you to those in the previous Vancouver Canucks video who commented our keyword. I don't even remember what it was, so yeah, it's right here. If you made it to the end of this video, just comment in the comment section below Bobrovsky, because we're talking about Ian Clark products and, yeah, Columbus goaltending and all that. Yeah, Bobrovsky is our comment section keyword. So yeah, thank you to those in the comments for all of that. Also, tell me in the comments what you think about the Canucks and their plan. I hope you enjoyed this. Was Josh Wilson 99. And bye.